Well, it's been a while. I've been lax in my duties as the Bay12 Motors test driver rather, but I am back now with a couple of cars as the save game is now finished over at the Bay12 forums. There'll be a link in the description, as there always is. And really, without further ado, let's get into things. This is the Bay12 GT, a grand touring car that has been around since the early 1990s in the game. It is now, it was last refreshed in 2012, so that's what we've got going right now. We go and put a time trial thing up here. Back it up slightly. Give us our usual rolling start. Looking at my notebook, this is powered by our chain reactor V8 engine, which replaces our old pump stack. It's pretty quick off the line. These newer cars are going to be a lot to handle, I suspect. .103 through there, nice. This is stable and quick. I like it. Uh, 40 seconds or so through the first sector. That's very fast compared to a lot of our previous stuff. Granted, it's been like 20 years since I drove a car. Can I need to lift? A little lift. Not a lot of lift. Ooh, really wide through there. A little bit more on the brakes into Bavarian Bend for the one that counts. Ooh, much earlier on the brakes through there. Not used to coming up on kill rub? Is that kill rub? I'm not used to coming up on that chicane so quickly. Oh. Again, not great through there. Alright, so we're going to call that lap a loss and hit the reset button. Oop. The reset button real quick. That's not the reset button I thought it was. Gotta remove my key bindings real quick. Settings. Controls. Reset. Insert, maybe? Reload home position. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Get my hot lap set up. Reverse out. Alright, so I gotta remember to take the Bavarian Bend a little bit slower, brake probably at about 100 or 150 for kill rob, and not hit the wall coming up the Cossack corner there toward the very end. Alright, let's give it a go. A little bit too far there. scraping you here is just because the ride height is low and Beam doesn't always do the best job of getting suspension right from exports from automation. Lift a little, because this is a fast corner. But hold on to it, I was a little bit slower there than I was on the pilot lap. Much better through Bavarian that time. Alright, so I didn't need to brake quite that hard, or that early. Here through the corner whose name I've now forgotten, up into Adam's Apex, very stable on the direction change there. Take this at about 60 or 50. And it's just because of the all-wheel drive. If I put the hammer down too much, then I lose traction. It will really cut that a little bit. Alright, we've got 2 minutes, 8 seconds, and 47 thousandths. I couldn't find a time for the chain reactor engine version of this car in the forum thread, so I don't know if 208 is good or not, but feels pretty quick. Anyway, so this is, I think, one of the older cars we've got. It's time to hop into something a little bit less likely to go around the track well. We have, I believe, a big SUV with, I think it's a V12 engine? I should probably go and I should have confirmed that more, but it is a hopefully a fastish SUV, kind of in that like fancy Escalade sort of thing. Oh, I know I've replaced the. Of course, this is not the home position, so. Oh dear, it's a little bit on the bumpy side. As always, we, never really bother with much in the way of fixtures at Bay12 Motors. That's a kind of do-it-yourself thing at the after you've bought the car. It's a very bright red. I can kind of get the the thing where you look at a color and see different colors elsewhere already, just after a second or two of being in here. So let's. It sounds kind of V12y. Let's give it a go. Ooh, hear that wheel spin. Oh, the body roll. Okay, so this is actually extremely tough to drive because you put your foot on the throttle and you, just kind of understeers wildly. It loses grip almost instantly when you get your foot onto it. But, nobody ever really expected much out of allegedly sporty SUVs. Whoa. But I might have to save this one for later. Can it make it around the carousel at 40, 50? That's not awful. It's just pretty bad. I'm going to be a little surprised if I don't roll it around the corner here at the slingshot. I think it's got big, chunky off-road tires, which would explain some of the lack of grip. It's nice we've got anti-lock brakes and everything now. It makes this a whole lot easier. I made it out of the Bavarian Bend at 70 miles an hour. Oh, those aren't great brakes. Take it through the runoff real quick. So I gotta stop this at about 150. I believe the in-automation time for this was about 2 minutes and 55 seconds, which I believe it's not a quick car by any stretch of the imagination. See, if I beat it on this lap, I might just let it be. But then again, you can never get too much of the hot lapping fun in really unsuitable cars for it. Ooh, you heard me put my foot down and all the tires squeal. I'm just going to take the rolling start on this, since I've already beaten the lap that way. Oh! It just doesn't stop. On the other hand, it does grip off-road pretty well, so it's got that going for it. A little bit of four-wheel drift action there. It wasn't proper drift because I have the wheel turned. It's like I'm understeering with a bit of a slide. But at least it's a slide that I can kind of, sort of control. I am faster so far, granted because I cheated the first chicane in the S's. But almost into the wall there, but not quite. It is still faster than some of our early cars, despite the fact that it handles very piggishly. Oh. And it looks like that is that for our poor... Oh dear, I can't go to the home position with it. Does just R reset? Controller just give me a same car and the same thing. How did I get back to the starting line? Well, I guess I'll just have to go the slow way. I am sure it'd be great at towing things or kind of climbing up the side of a cliff, but that is not the kind of driving I signed up for today, so we'll get this back to the start line and see if we can't get some better times laid down in some faster cars. Oop, left that braking way too late. Recall what that corner I just came around is called after Kill Rob. Starts with a P. Grab my phone real quick when I get to the start-finish line, and I'll see if I can't find it there. Part of the trouble with this I'm having is that the traction's just a little bit too good, actually. I'd rather have something I can use the power to get the rear out, like to get some oversteer action going to help me get around those corners. Alright, we'll put it into park. Let me look up the automation test track real quick so I can use the right names for things. You can hear my steering wheel kind of rocking gently back and forth there. Test track images. There we go. Ah, the sickle, that's right, the Palms sickle. Cool, I've actually got most of the names all in mind. Well, let's load up the next vehicle on our list, which is... I guess we'll take the Duke out. The Duke is a 2000s era luxury car. I believe it uses an updated version of the engine we had in our old Noble sedan, which has been around an awfully long time. An old V8 of some kind. Bit of a turbocharger on it, but probably just for economy as opposed to actual juice. Apparently very soft suspension, so we'll see how that does in the corners. And I've got on my little notebook here a track time to beat of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So, yeah, about 9 psi of boost. Not a ton there. Unlike the GT, the suspension's soft enough to really attack the first part of the S's. Now through Brian's Bend here. A little bit too much of a cut, but I'll allow it. It's nice having anti-lock brakes on things now. I can really just put my foot down and stomp and wait for the speed to bleed off. Pretty fast so far. A little bit understeery, but acceptably so, I would say. Now this is the DeLuxe version, so it's a couple of 100 pounds heavier than the base model, and even the preceding Noble, despite the fact that the preceding Noble is quite a lot older and made of that classic steel. So 120 or so through the slingshot, no need for a serious lift. I just kind of came out the throttle a hair there. It's heavy, so I'm going to brake early. Or a little earlier than I had to. But not as much as I needed to. Alright, good to know. I gotta probably come into the Bavarian bend there, hit the apex at about 60. I'm gonna brake between about 100 and 150 for this, I think. Maybe a little bit later. It's not going all that fast. So I can probably brake at about 100. Come through the chicane. Get the throttle on through the sickle. Up to maybe 80 or 90. Actually, it sticks to the track well enough with my foot down. So now the stability test comes out looking pretty good. Not quite enough grip to get around here north of 40 miles an hour. Up to Cossack. The apex, look to the exit. Like I have slightly missed the time because of the off, but I can probably make that up. Alright. 2:42. Let's reverse to the line and get a second lap in, see if I can't do a little bit better. I believe my starting position was with the hood touching the outer part of the marker here. There we go. Alright. And let's go. Slightly better line through there. On the throttle a little bit earlier, coming into the last part of the S's. Not a ton of traction through there. I can probably make it through here with a smaller lift than I did last time. Get 80, get on the brakes right away, because it takes a while to slow down, being a big heavy car. And it doesn't like much north of 30 there. 51 second first sector, not too bad. But again, going to try and take the slingshot at about 120 some with a very small lift, if at all. You can hear the turbo just kind of backing off, maybe. A little bit sideways there, but a much better exit out of Bavaria. So stop at about 100. It's down to 30 for the turn-in. We got some brake fade on the front left according to the little status screen down in the bottom left of my screen. About 5 or 10 seconds faster than I was last time, so hopefully we get a good result here. Ooh, actually, still might not make it. Yeah, there's a 2:37.703. Which, if I take a quick look at my notebook, is 2 seconds slower than the test track in automation. So that's not ideal, but I'll take it anyway. And next up is the Carp, named after, of course, one of Dwarf Fortress's most dangerous adversaries. Here we go. The Carp Hardtop 2012. Hit the home button now. Nope, still doesn't work. Back to the line. So this is using our reactor in line 4. I mentioned the chain reactor on one of our, rather, I believe it was on the Bay12 GT, which is the V8 version of this engine. I'm told this has a rock-hard suspension, and let's check the track time real quick. Did it in 2:24, so I've got quite a run ahead of me to see if I can beat. Get my seating position just right. All right. Ooh, that's a... Oh, jeez. So not a great sign. It does seem to be very stiff on the suspension. You can see it's handling the end of the S's like a champ. Now this was built to be a small, peppy, fun sports car, and it's got that feel to it very much. You got the rear end a little bit hanging out there. I think is it? I'm not sure what the drive is, whether it's front, rear, or all. But it is quick. Just about take the slingshot flat out. Let's brake it about 200. Seems like it stops pretty well. Oh yeah, very well. I can probably brake it about 150 for that. Whoop! Lost it. Alright, so I gotta be a little bit less aggressive on the throttle coming out of the Bavarian bend. Try braking at about 100 here. Can go later than that, although depending on how fast I'm coming into the corner, maybe. So I really can't attack the curbs too much because that gets the weight off of the tires that kind of jump over the curb, and then that'll throw me off as I come out of the corner. So I can't quite take the full throttle rather on corner exit, so I gotta be careful with that too. I'm not talking as much or as coherently this time, partly because I'm out of practice and partly because this is more of a car to handle than the last couple. Take this at 60. Oh, easily. Oop. But same problem. So yeah, it's very touchy on corner exit. Did a big multi-point turn there. Alright, so that's my scout lap. I'm just going to pull up the line here without going past, since I did not beat my 2:24 second mark. Alright. Alright, there we go. And we're off. Better start so far. Just remembering to not put my foot down until I'm really well and truly out of corners. Brakes are really excellent on this. Got a 46-second first sector, which is pretty blazingly quick. Just very slightest of lifts through the slingshot, just to keep the back end in. And stop, get on the brakes at about the 200 marker. Light throttle, accelerate out, there we go, put the foot down, there we go. That was a good exit. And brakes at about 100, probably, ooh, even still that's early. Feed the throttle in nice and gentle like into the sickle. Second sector time of about probably 137, 136. I can take this corner at about 50 if I don't almost stack it on the way in. Looks like I'm going to beat 224 with time to spare. There's 219, 220, 221, 221, 860, so a little bit quicker than the computer managed it. And that is probably my favorite car that Bay12 Motors has come out with to date. It's got just the right mix of handling and speed. It's fun to drive. It's moderately forgiving, but not so forgiving that you can't get in trouble with it. Trouble in the best kind of way. And it's this pleasing teal color as well. You know, if I could buy one, I'd probably actually, like, I'd drive that car for real if one existed. And now, finally, for our last vehicle, the Fey Lord Ultralight. This is, despite the styling, a modern hypercar in the truest sense. It's got a V12 engine that makes about 1,200 horsepower, I think. You can see it revs all the way up to, what is it, up to 9,500. Let me... that doesn't stop the thingy, unfortunately. And this is still the home position, for whatever reason. Oh, the reverse gear goes awfully quick. Alright, so this is going to be a handful to drive, I can already tell. But we're going to do our best. So time for the scout lap. Holy cow. Yeah, this is... So it's a V12 engine, the red line is 9,500, I'm going to be driving it down here at about 3,000 or 4,000. Except here on the straight, where I can really let it loose. Alright, so I've kind of scraped some paint off there. Let's freshen up the car just to keep it from... well, to fix any handling problems that caused me my first encounter with the wall there. And there's a second encounter with the wall. Alright, so I'm going to be lucky to get this around the track at all, much less in the 1 minute and 50 seconds that that it did around the automation test track in automation. Oh, right into a wall there. Oh hey, there goes a wheel. I didn't know that even could happen. Alright, we'll reset it again. It's a little unsteady under braking. I wonder if the Carp has the same sequential transmission. So I'm going to take a second scout lap in this, just because it is an awful lot of car. Alright, so I cannot actually do a rolling start there, I have to brake before the start-finish line. I'm surprised I managed to hold on to it through there. So basically, brake at the 150 marker, if not earlier. It's like driving with an egg under the accelerator. Alright, one more scout. Let's see if I can't get a clean one in at least. A little bit airborne there. Oh! That's a shame. So I believe on that last lap I did it in 2:19, even though I was off the track in at least one spot. So that gives you some idea as to what kind of speed you can expect out of this car. I'm not sure if the Carp has better brakes or just isn't going as fast, but it does feel like this needs, doesn't often get up to the kinds of speeds it can just because the track is too tight for it. And it's not even a very tight track. It's awfully... Whoa. Try to get some air there. It gets awfully squirrely up here at a very high speed. I believe the computer did it at 140 some through the slingshot, which... That's not going to be me, I don't think. So we're probably braking here, even, just because it's going 130 by the time I get to the... Even that wasn't quite early enough. Can kind of feel it sliding around the corner there, around the sickle. That's a little bit too early on that braking, but what are you gonna do? Do 60 around here, and it got around that first sector in 36 seconds. Oh. So close. Broke something real bad there, so time for a quick reset. Oh boy. So, is it easy to drive? No. Is it fast? Yes. It's spinning the wheels past 100 miles an hour there. Alright, let's see if I can't get one in for good. that was 2:15 that last time. With like significant crashes and offs, I have managed to do this track in this car in a hair over 2 minutes. So I think if I can get a clean one in, I can do it. I can do it in under the time that the computer did, maybe. But that is going to be a trick and a half. Alright, so no talking this time. I'm just going to see if I can put a good one in. And here we go. Nope, not like that. Let me see if I can't find out real quick what the reset to start line is. Ah, yes, okay, so just regular R resets it all the way, and I think Control R maybe sets the position? Okay, so let me get to the start-finish line again. Whew. Once it gets up into that, like, power band at a little north of 6,000 or 7,000 RPM, it just goes. Let me hit Control R to set this as my new home point, since I'm going to be resetting a couple of times, I think, for this attempt. And let's go. Into the dirt, and back to the start. Nope. So, like some of our older fast cars, I really got to be pointing in the right direction. Oh, I don't know where the wheels are. Is this straight? Nope, that is one over, okay. So like some of our older cars, I've really got to be basically pointed where I want to be pointed for the whole braking thing. So I've got to, rather than hug the wall, I have to aim at the 50-meter marker at the beginning, like at the entry to Bavarian Bend. So I got to watch for that this time out. Oh, no, not like that. And that is just a hard corner to get right in this car. Took that a little bit deep. It's a 117 time to that second sector. Oh no! Oh, that's such a bummer. That could have been the one too. Oh, too much speed. Not sure how long this has been going just yet, but... Alright. I'm gonna center myself, find my car zen. I saw 210 or 211 on the speedometer there, which is better than the computer does. Oh no! I knew it wasn't going to work, even as I started. I gotta come out of that corner slower so I can line up the car better. Not going to win any speed records, but if I can just keep the car together at that point, that'll be fine. Oh no! If I finish the lap, I'm still going to count it, honestly. Now that was gutting. Oh, alright. Let's give it one more go. Alright, there is a 157.047 straight into the wall, and that is about the best I can do. That is a lot of car. I'm sure there are 7 seconds on that lap I just put in to be found, for sure. I'm just not quite good enough to get them, I don't think. As you can see from the mess I have made of this wonderful car. And I believe since that brings us to the end of the save game and automation, that brings me to the end of my Bay12 Motors test driver career. And what better way to end it than in a runoff area, buried in the sand, with a tire next to me, not on the axle it's supposed to be. So thanks for watching these, and I suppose that is all.